Okay. Alright, so this thing didn't work. This had pathing problems, seemingly. Hey, Cryo, welcome to the stream. So we could just delete it. Although I kind of like it as an arrival point. So maybe we'll try to use it. So the entrance proper are back there. We saw the people can filter out into this area. Yes, maybe this is just not worth the effort. There's some weirdness to this. It's not the most amazing thing. Hey, Dylan, welcome to the stream. I've been all right. It's been a really busy week, and I'm a little congested or whatever from all the smoke filtering down from Canada. What do I think about Trump saying the 2020 election is rigged? I think he's a sore loser. That's what I think. It's not your fault. I don't know. I know one Canadian. I know who to blame. The only one I know. All right. I think we've got our own wildfires too right now. I don't think it's strictly all Canada. I think it's boiled down into the US. But I'm not completely sure. But yeah, we probably should help our neighbors more, but we're currently not in a political climate that is good for that, unfortunately. Okay, so we got a few other JP decorations here that we haven't used yet. Dude, I put this fountain back in. Yeah, fountain over there. Get some trash cans in. You finished your Lagoon Park sandbox yesterday? Congratulations. When am I going to visit JW3 parks? When we're done with this, I'm going to do one or two park tours before we start next build, probably. Now, this can is actually crooked with the blueprint. So we can't actually rely on the line to align it. Too many guests on this tiny path. It is pretty crowded, yeah. Why did we never use these? These presumably work. I think I just kind of forgot these existed. Okay. Well, they're all merged, which is annoying. Sometimes it feels good to revisit GW 1 and 2, yeah. There's merits to the other games that the third game doesn't have. Okay, so that'll give me the feeder, but not the frame. So how do I get the frame? Maybe I can't. Maybe I have to do it like this. Okay. Now this is a plant feeder, but we can change it. So we could use this for fruit. Hey Muto, welcome to the stream. I don't think the distinct colors offer enough. I think just green and red is fine. It's on the Discord. Thanks again on 2K. Yeah, thank you for that. You're welcome, I guess. Yeah, I saw the message. I didn't have a chance to respond to it. It happened a few weeks ago. We've been at 2K for a little bit. All right, let's just put it down and then worry about alignment. Actually, the ground catches up to it pretty well. No staff needed. Is that the hygiene part only, presumably? Okay, let's make sure this can get stocked. Yeah, I had the idea for the server a little bit afterwards, but then it took me a little while to get around to putting it together. Both in terms of like finalizing the ideas and looking at mods. We'll use these two as our test feeders. Okay, other Jurassic things. And I was looking for something more to do with Saga, so it's the perfect time. Perfect thing to do with Saga is the server. Okay, we got a hotel. That could be a good thing to put on this side of the pathway. I don't know what this does in terms of, like, functionality for the actual game. Just a point of interest. Okay, that's kind of what I figured. Yeah, I've been having a good time with Saga. I really appreciate a lot of the deeper cut stuff. Kind of references and stuff like that are always gonna get me in a good mood. Okay. Yeah, I can see where the intended ground level is, I guess. Oh wait, now those are following. Weird. They were levitating, I guess, because they were part of the blueprint, but then maybe they get kind of connected to the ground once the ground is put in? It's kind of weird. No, that'll work. Most Saga things are like behind experimental still. Yeah, I meant to ask you, what does experimental actually, like, contain? Because I wasn't sure if I should have experimental enabled or disabled for the server. Like, are there any, like, stability issues or anything with experimental? Okay, so that actually gets too high. But that is also... Those trees are also floating. Weird. $10 to 15 species at the moment. Are they just like kind of technically unfinished animals or something? Is that how it works? Animations might be a bit weird and some behaviors look unpolished. Okay. Some animals don't attack each other. Got it. So yeah, I think as long as it doesn't cause any actual like stability issues, it's probably for the best to leave it up to the individual players on whether or not they use the experimentals. So I think I'll leave them enabled then. Well, the trees aren't floating anymore. That's all I'm asking for. So I think we'll call this good. That's a small. Pretty sure we have mediums. Players have to have it enabled as well. Okay. Then I should add that to instructions. Overall, am I enjoying PK over JWE3? I have more hope for PK, let's say. There's elements of PK that are not there yet, and there's elements of JWE3 that are not there yet. But JWE3 is a commercial, like a fully finished commercial product, and this is an early access game. So they establish, by their very nature, different expectations. But I think, yes, at this point, PK wins over JWE3 for me. There should be a turn off. Yeah, ignore structures. So if we do this... Okay, cool. Then that allows me to raise the terrain level here. That was being a little funky. What is my favorite species roster of the franchise? Do you mean like out of the movies? Which movie do I like the roster of the most? That's an interesting question. Okay, yeah, I'll send any questions I have about Saga to you, Colin. I think the experimental features thing was kind of the big thing. I gotta remember to write that down too for the instructions. Okay. Yeah, custom challenge mode is one of the things that like could help make up for some of the deficiencies of JWE3. And since it's not there, it's like definitely a black mark on the game for me. Like JWE does get points for the franchise because I'm a big fan of Jurassic, and I'm also just a big fan of dinosaurs, and I can kind of appreciate having separate games that are paleo accurate versus Jurassic. But at the end of the day, I usually want to build Jurassic Park more so than I want to build a dinosaur zoo. So the IP does matter to me. But like the biggest problem with 3, I think, is that the new features that were supposed to be selling points for 3 are just better done in PK. So it ends up being like the only reason to play JWE3 over PK is the IP, and that's not great. Okay, I don't know if we have anything else we should put in here. I don't think so, really. But we should probably start actually wrapping up this park build. Oh yeah, I wanted to put in the gates. Oh yeah, did I ever use the Dilo sign? I don't think I ever did. Use the open one. But yeah, as far as like rosters, I mean Carnotaurus is like my favorite dinosaur, so the Fallen Kingdom roster gets some points for me. Both for that, but also things like Baryonyx are really fun. I just wish the design was better. I think we'll put the gate here. And try and PK more. You want to do an ecosystem site B. The big problem with site B and like large enclosures is the animals don't do a really good job at finding food, I've noticed. Which is, to be fair, the same problem JWE has with large enclosures, so it's not even a mark against this game, as much as it is just a general disappointment. I Fires seem to float a little bit, huh? I guess that's the intent. I'm not going to move them or anything to realign them.
The animals in this paddock seem to be without food.
Oh, maybe the fire is, Yeah, I don't know. I think once they tune the animal breeding and stuff like that, ecosystem builds in this game won't even compare. Like JW3 will be so far behind on that front. And maybe some other tweaks to the behavior for like food and stuff, and then it's pretty good. You can also just probably set things up in a way where like you're not so reliant on food dishes and stuff. Have I ever played The Isle or Path of Titans? I have not. I'm aware of them. They're never really been my speed, so to speak. Can't say I've ever really been looking to be a dinosaur, you know? Wonder how they made the lettering. It looks like it's gotta be custom made out of pieces. Yeah, the ontogeny system in this game is like incredible. It's actually crazy what they've done, I think. Gifts. I've already been using those. Oh yeah, we got a vehicle gate. I don't know if this has any functionality. So I don't think we kind of decided not to bother with the decorative fences. They're awkward to get in. Not entirely sure. Like, I suppose the water is supposed to be the side with the piping and the rocks? Maybe? Hard to tell. Could just leave it in here like this is just a decorative element. Sure. Okay, T-Rex paddock. So, let me pull up a map. So the Rex paddock is always weird because it's kind of wrapped in there inside the Raptor paddock, and then it's got the tour path basically goes right through the middle of it, which is like awkward, right? Does the T Rex have the capability to pass underneath the tour road in some way? Probably not. Also, we see the car leaving a tunnel, so we don't really know where the tour car actually came from to enter said tunnel. A further complication. So, we've got most of the perimeter in. Let's look at the Paleopedia. Tyrannosaurus is high 4.0. Okay, so cable works. That's probably... Well, maybe the... No, I think that's a better Rex aesthetic. Maybe not. I think we'll do the cable. Okay, so... Wait, why did I do... Oh, that's this. I guess we'll keep with this, actually, if that's what I was thinking originally for the pen. We don't have to replace that segment. The trike perimeter is the Rex perimeter. And so from here... Weird that it immediately bows like that. I think because of how I attached, right? No. That's just strange. Okay, so this is like the border of the reserve paddock where this cliff is. So I suppose we're just kind of leading over to that. I think the downward part should be longer. Problem is the reserve paddock is actually here. So if I put the I guess I could cut this by like an internal division. This is awkward. Alright, let's just put it around the hill and take a look at it. And then think about what to change. I don't currently have a plan on like this tour loop, what to do after this building here. As well, if I'm going to try and run it up along this rock face or something. Did we ever install like a bridge of any kind? Well, we have some base game bridges. So we might be able to do that, put in a bridge across. This actually is in the hillside here. Just straight up. So I think we just would wrap around this way. So if I do that... I'm going to put the aloe pen in, I think. What am I doing? I can never find the back button. We're doing Anax. And Jimatsuni. And they can't go together. That's the other problem. I could carve the Rex paddock then into two. And then maybe we do Jimatsuni in the reserve paddock. But then the Rex paddock we cut in half. Oh, but that doesn't really work with the trike paddock. Problems. Yeah, I think cutting the reserve in half is the way to go. All right. High 4. High 2. Let's do high 4 for everything then. We'll do the cable. So from the edge of the Gallimimus paddock, that is just the edge of the reserve paddock, period. Which means we have kind of like dramatically compressed it. Which tracks with the other stuff. We could potentially expand this. That's probably the play. This is it this fence? Yeah. Oops. Too far. So this should bow. Should go out slightly. Slope too high. Let's just do like that. Hmm. I guess we just kind of follow the other section and then like just keep bringing it closer. So it kind of just links. Could extend this slightly further down. That's like that. Okay. Gotta check on the stegs and styrax. Yeah, so they've got something bad in here still. There we go. Yes, cryo. What is your question? You should ask your question instead of just saying question. Waddling stegos. Waiting, rather. They are good to go too. At least the Steenops. Why is there a hole in the T-Rex paddock at JP if there was not a hole when we saw the racks? You're talking about the drop-off? We just didn't notice it. I mean, it's at the end of the day, it's because it's a movie. One staff en route. Did I queue this up? Name one of the stegos Claire. Do we have a stego named Claire? No. Okay. Bane. I like that we got Bane. We'll do this one because I wanted to look at an ungulatus anyway. Does it think it's a Styracosaurus? That's not your mom. Alright. Looks pretty good. There's a Claire. Vane the Stego? Bane. He was born into this park. Molded by it. So these guys could take more for us, so I kind of don't mind the idea of thickening up the forest here a bit, where these this brown bit is. A little more veg feels good. Were humans cruel back then? Like we were hanging people. What? What are you talking about? Back when? I mean, yes, humans historically are cruel, but like, what are we talking about specifically? When is then? I just don't know what time frame we're talking about. I mean, like, historically, that's happening all the time. Like I said, it doesn't matter which time frame we're talking about. Alright. Sometimes humans are weird. That's one way to put it, yeah. Okay, back to the reserve paddock. Now that we've expanded the stego enclosure. That is this fence. I don't think that was perfectly 90, but it doesn't matter because we're not actually connecting it. I just needed a guideline to get it over there. Humans have plot armor, and in certain cases they seem to. Where is the actual fence? There it is. Is there... Yeah, it's not actually connected. I think it would be better if I start down here. Maybe. You saw Odyssey Absolute Peak. I've heard it's good. I have not seen it yet myself, and it probably won't see it soon. I'll see it eventually. Maybe in a couple weeks. I don't know. Okay, let's start from here then. So this kind of bows out. It actually goes slightly in first. Kind of goes out before hitting that, technically. Oof. So I guess we'll want it going outward as we hit the river, maybe. It's a little narrow. Yeah, I don't think I want it going in that steeply. We gotta accommodate the scale a little bit. Hey, Deck, welcome to the stream. Happy 25th of JP3. Has it been 25 years already? Damn. Getting old. I guess we do something like that. Let's just look at the enclosure. It's not complete. There's a hole in it somewhere. God damn it. Ah, yes, this corner doesn't exist. Fair. I must have hit undo? Okay. Definitely don't like the top arm. Let's see here. Not the worst version of the reserve paddock. It's not the best. Decent start, though. I think I overdid it. Hard to build it from that direction. That's a little bit better. This hump is a little exaggerated, but I'm actually okay with it because of space requirements. I think it's okay. Let's start the episode. Welcome back to Prehistoric Kingdom. I'm a little out of it today, so if I sound a little off, that's why. A little bit too much smoke here in the Midwestern U.S. boiling down from Canada. Fucking with my sinuses a bit. So this is the reserve paddock area. This is what would have been the baryonyx in Jurassic Park itself. That's typically... Sorry, let me rephrase that. Typically, this is what people assign to the baryonyx. We don't actually have any evidence for that directly. In the film, it's just called the reserve paddock. We've carved it into two because we're doing Anax and Gymatzonite Allosauruses as our stand-in for baryonyx, or our stand-in generically for any of the larger but not T-Rex scale carnivores that might have been in the park. So we've got this southern chunk here and this northern chunk here, and collectively the two very crudely match the reserve paddock. We're also accommodating this cliff because we want to keep this and use this. So it's kind of a compromise between the two. The northern perimeter of the reserve paddock would be right here where the raptor paddock ends, and they would be connected. So we're about the same level, and then down here it connects in with the southern half of the Gallimimus exhibit, which is our Stegosaurus exhibit, which we have fattened up a little bit because it probably should have been. And also, we just, needed to extend this fence out further. The Stegosaurus pen, or the Gallimimus paddock, whichever one you prefer to call it, or think of it as the southern, southwestern expanse, should just lead right up into the reserve paddock. So these had to be kind of the same length to make it work. And then we'll run the path here around and up onto this cliff, I think. First, let's get our... How are you? Are you escaped? I don't believe you. Maybe I do believe you. Did I delete part of the fence? No, because then it wouldn't show us this. I'm gonna believe that is... Okay, it's fine. Maybe that was a temporary warning. Yeah, because now this actually shows correct. I think I might have had a gap in the fence briefly. It looks like we have just slightly too much forest. The Styrax as well. There we go. Perfect. Hey, you're not a Styracosaurus. The bipedal feeding animation on the baby stego, that's incredible. That's fantastic. I really like that a lot. Okay, what was I doing? I got completely distracted. The allosaurs. So with the allosaurs, let's look at the Paleopedia. Jamatsuni has a water need, but it could be min. And then Anax has maybe less of a water need, I guess. I would say so. So I think we put Anax in the north. Jamatsuni in the south. Little fuzzy fella. So I think 3 allos overall is probably alright. Because the Anaxes are solitary anyway. It'd be nice in GW3 we got a new Stego whose baby could be bipedal as well. That would be sick. I doubt it'll ever happen, unfortunately. I feel like a completely unique juvenile animation set like that is too much to ask for, unfortunately. The stark black melanistic aloe is pretty sick. We're just going to do, I think, 1 female here. And then for the Jamatsuni, let's look at the adults, male and female. Not too much dimorphism there color-wise. This one they resisted, I guess, the temptation to make the crest very dramatic. Let's get rid of that. 0 to 6 on male and 0 to 6 on female. So we could have actually quite a lot of these, but I think I'm just going to do 2. So we'll do 1 male, 1 female. Allosaurus Anax would make a pretty good antagonist. I could see that. Maybe it would clash too much with having, like, Allo be somewhat prominent. What, I guess just a different shade of skin color there, slightly browner. The baby especially looked very brown compared to the other one. Okay. Well, there's our allos. And then for the T-Rex, I gotta try and finish up this paddock, but it's potentially quite big, which is awkward. I think I want to kind of truncate this end of it. The problem with the T-Rex paddock in the film is the tour basically goes like right through the middle of it. And this whole downward section over there is where the T-Rex is, and this part is like unspecified, so it's a little awkward. I'll see what we can do with it. So this fence, I think we're just gonna have the path come this way. So I think we just kind of cut it right here. Maybe that's all we do, really. There is... No, there's not really a hook to the top end. Kind of just comes straight down. Yeah, maybe. Very large paddock, but it's kind of probably how it has to be with the space we've made. Alright, we gotta figure out bridges. So we have these narrow, wide. Ah. So it doesn't go over the water. At least not like that. That works. Okay. Let's start down here. How it turned out. Okay, the bridge is pretty aligned with the fence. I wasn't sure it actually was. If the Saurophagonex fossil remains is believed to belong to a sauropod, then where do Allosaurus anax come from? It's other bones. So I think the idea, if I understand correctly, is the Saurophagonex specimen is a chimera. It's made out of multiple animals, most of which, and like the original remains that it's named after or whatever, are sauropod remains. But there is some large Allosaurus material also mixed in there, which I think is where anax comes from. This is kind of weird. Like, why does it do this thing where it like connects to the side like that? Very awkward. Like, I actually can't get the cursor to align with the middle part of the path for whatever reason. It's very strange. Hoping the bridge actually works. Don't know if it will. What the? Ah, because of the height discrepancy? Something like that. Yeah, don't know why it insists on connecting so weirdly sometimes. It's very frustrating. But the path tool is a thing that's going to be fixed, so we just live with the weirdness, I guess. It's really weird though. Maybe. What if we remove the angle snap? Let's try and figure out why this behaves weirdly. So that still snaps, so that's not the angle snap that makes it weird. Might be the curved placement. The way the curved part ends up wanting to connect. Well, that actually seems like it kind of fixed itself in the end there. Yeah. Okay, so I think when the path glitches, you gotta kind of toggle it on and off again. And then it kind of fixes itself. All right, here's what we're doing for the full tour route. Path snakes in over here next to the galley enclosure / stego enclosure there. Up onto the cliff, past the reserve paddock, which will be our allosaur enclosure. Crosses the river on this nice bridge. Hopefully this bridge is functional. It's a double bridge connected together, so we'll see if any of that works. Continuing this way, past the reserve paddock, up the cliff still. Comes down here. This is going to be the Tyrannosaur paddock. We're not going to put anything on this side of it. We're just basically squishing the whole side in so that the tour path can essentially be just on the outer perimeter. And we follow very closely here with the perimeter. That way it looks kind of like the tour road sequence from the film in the sense that the, fence is like right there. And then this segment here wraps all the way around back to the Ceratopsid enclosure. Well, the Triceratops enclosure, because Thyrac is not in here. And then connects back up on the edge where we put this tower in originally. So the path here just kind of snakes away, then it gets tighter on this section. It's not even connected because this was being weird and I deleted it. Yes. True. Yeah, that'll work. Okay, discharge required for Bina to get you back to your home, which is here. You are happy. Diseased animal, Ahote. Ringworms recovering. Okay, I guess they got the checkup already and dealt with it.
The fossil record shows a bone bed of what was assumed to be a herd of these animals. But from what I've found, they're far more antisocial than expected.
Okay.
Perhaps a result of modern climatic conditions or irregularities in the genome. I'll leave that up for you to decide.
All right. You know what? Let's do a little thing here. So we have. Let's talk about the entrance to the park, right? So last time we had this custom entrance over here that we never were able to get working because the visitor pathfinding was blocked, so they couldn't actually leave the building. We've just scrapped it. I put instead this decorative Jurassic Park helipad in here, and we're using the visitor center as the entrance to the park. We have this decorative JP style hotel as well, based probably off the hotel from Return to Jurassic Park / JW2 Jurassic Park era, I would imagine. And some of the other decorations we have that we hadn't used much previously were, yes, and they are functional, it seems. Some Jurassic Park JPOG-inspired custom feeders. So, I want to duplicate you. Duplicate selected groups. Duplicate with advanced editing. Okay, duplicate you. We're going to use these feeders going forward. Maybe replace some of the other ones. Could gene modification work in PK? I think it could. And I think it would be interesting. I think the gene modification systems in JWE have a lot of good potential in them. And I would be excited to see another take on the systems. Because I can see room for improvement. All right, and then these are, what were these, 2.5 or 4 meters? We need a water dish. We don't have a custom water dish, so that's fine. Just throw in one of you right there. Okay, and then maybe we wait for these to be filled before we release the animals. That way we're releasing them into a stocked enclosure instead of one that is unstocked. In fact, we do need both plants and meat right now. Let's grab a ton of that. Medicine looks like we might want to, but it's not an immediate concern. Oh yeah, and we put in a nice Jurassic Park gate, because of course you gotta have a gate. You can't not have a gate in your park, obviously. And so it's basically where the gate would be on the tour if you think this is the tour road. Which is the, you know, the idea. Oh, and I had never finished fixing the path up here, so I do need to do that too, because this whole arc is gross. Before we do that, okay, let's look at this. We are at 4.5 stars. We have 16 out of 22 unique species. We're missing Psittacosaurus, of which we're putting in, I think, 3 species, our 2 Allosaurs and our Tyrannosaurus. So that's 6. We got the Psittacos last time. But I think we've only done, yeah, we only did Spa. Oh my god, he's a little gremlin. Ah, it's because he's an albino. That makes him look even more gremlin-y because he's unpigmented. Okay. 1 to 2 male, 1 to 3 females. So I think what we'll do is the full 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and Tyrannosaurus. We're doing 1. We want our Rexy, so to speak. So that one is nicely brown. It's not going to be the feathered one for this one. Yeah, I think this is our best bet for a Rexy, probably. Yeah. Okay, let's do some gene editing. Override color, and we got to override size, too, right? Because it's Rexy. It's got to be, like, enormous. Oh, do I not have this researched, maybe? Shoot. I think that's the brownest look. There's a pattern value, but we can't do anything, which is interesting. Is that a separate research? Mating suppressor, improve mutagen, maximizes the efficiency. So where was the previous one we did? Nursery size. Here. Chromatic phenotype. Somatic growth modulation. Enables size editing. Yeah, let's do that. Let's put 2 on that. We'll do the largest Rex we can possibly do because it's Jurassic Park. But then I guess the pattern thing is maybe a planned thing because I don't see another thing here, really. Although it could really be anywhere and I could just be missing it. Okay, well, let's just leave that as that. Psittacosaurus 2 and 3. Here is 1. Let's throw 2 on that. And then the last one. First Psittacosaurus I find is going in the park. Which maybe there's only 3, I don't remember. Somewhere. Ah, here. Alright. Great. Everybody's busy. Fantastic. Let's fix this path up. That section I think can stay. Just making sure there's nothing too weird about it, because there's some like graphical glitches when we were putting it in. Looks good to me though. Alright, well let's get this positioned. Albino dinosaur could look cool in Jurassic Park. It's kind of surprising to me we've never seen one. I mean, we have the baryonyx, I guess, in like Chaos Theory, but like a unique variant of an animal in film other than like the raptor squads would be cool. Where are we going to put these Psittacos? Enjoy coastal, so they can go kind of anywhere. I think the Stego exhibit, maybe. I'm gonna try out these guys in this exhibit. Why are we getting... Okay, it's fine.
Now this little fella is a Psittacus.
You don't say.
Thanks to a number of recent findings,
Well, that's
we're able to restore
water.
this creature to a high degree of genetic accuracy. Right
There we
down
go.
to the quills and coloration in some of its species.
Alright. Barry, that's sure, man. You could be Barry. Okay, they're happy, so yeah, I think we'll leave this batch of Psittacos in here and see how well they handle the enclosure. See if they get bullied or anything. The Starvax should be fine. It's the Stegos that might eventually be a problem for them, but maybe it's maybe it'll work out. Who knows? Do these enclosures over here have any food in them yet? Well, I can tell you one thing. It's under the ground. So that's not ideal. There we go. And this one also ended up under the ground. Name one of them Dolores because it's funny. You got it. They have extra Dolores-y vibes as the babies. Because they don't have all their quills growing in yet. Alright, you're a guy named Espresso, so it's not going to be you. Shu is now Dolores. Wait, it's Dolores? Is it Do or De? Dolores? Sure. And they're just immediately going in the water, like a lot of animals in this game tend to do. So they're going to get Rotfoot. Hooray. All right, here's our new path along the edge of the Brachiosaur / Parasaur enclosure. Also, the Parasaur horns coming in nicely. The crest is quite large. Very cool. Are you a proper adult? 61%. Yeah, I guess sexually mature. No, not quite sexually mature though. Maybe because the breeding season's not here yet. Maybe this will be the first breeding season coming up. Not sure. We got our Cretocristatus. They're also looking very good. Did I put in a nest for these guys? Because, like, the Amano's gotta be sexually mature. They're not. Let's put in a nest. Even if I have nests already, another one is not a problem. Okay. I'd like to see the rest of the franchise species in this game. Obvious exceptions being Beckel and Titanosaurus. That's fair. Yeah, it would tickle me to have every like major franchise animal, or just even the minor franchise animals available in this game, to do like a genuine JP roster instead of having to like fill in the gaps. That'd be pretty cool. All right, excavation complete. Mongoliensis, somatic growth is done. That's done. Sorry. Oh shit! Right, we had Anki eggs.
Over 6 meters long and has a series of bony osteoderm armor embedded in its skin like chainmail.
Okay, so we got 4 babies. Nice. I think we had a pretty decent amount of eggs, right? From what I remember from last time. I completely forgot about these eggs. Doesn't look like we got anything too crazy going on with any of the babies' colorizations or anything. You have... What? There was some sort of malady, but it seems like it's fine. Let's not worry about it. Okay, we should be able to get the Rex now. So we can do override size. We maximize the size, the biggest possible Rex we can get. It looks like the color override is still set. Let's see if we did... Yeah, it's just 2 black. Okay, I think that's our Rex. All right. Then we have the other Psittacosaurus now, which was Cypricus? No. Which one is this? This is Mongoliensis. Right, we said it earlier. Really like the skin right here. So these guys, let's get rid of this. 2 to 3 and 3 to 5. So if we do the full batch, these are kind of like Microceratus stand-ins. Semi-canon because of Jurassic Park the Ride. So it works as a good stand-in species for that reason. And if we're standing in for micro, there were over 20 micros in the novel. So I think cranking the population on these makes sense. So let's do 1, 2, 3. Ooh, the red one? 4, 5. That one looked really spicy. Oops, I did mature. That's my bad. Whoops. Can I abort the eggs? Okay, we can sell when they're done hatching. I kind of want to keep the red, but like doing adults is illegal as far as I'm concerned. Okay, we're gonna clear those out. I didn't do an adult for the Rex. I remember shrinking that one down. Well, my bad. That's fine. Name one of the baby Inks Bumpy. That makes some sense. What was the other baby? Smoothie? Sibiricus looks really cool. Yeah, he's got some crazy horns. Okay, Bumpy was a female. Alright, Manaba is Bumpy. That makes sense. Half the letters are the same. I think Smoothie was a boy, but Smoothie didn't do nothing.
Although the unarmored belly of Ankylosaurus may seem like
I
a
suppose
weak
we
point,
still go with the
its body
reference.
is wide and low to the ground, making it very difficult to flip over should any large theropods get any bright ideas.
Oh yeah, I didn't put anything in the rec pen. I don't have food or a gate or anything. Oops. I suppose we could try and do the cliff. Do some rock. Maybe. way over there. Okay, we're gonna need like warehousing and stuff on this side of the island for sure. Just put it over here away from it so we can flatten it. Assuming we're gonna need these. Attraction points are good. Visitor satisfaction is not. I think some other staff gates are probably in order. Make a little hub. Oh, this should be the 4-meter fence. Still waiting on staff to get across the park to actually deal with a lot of these feeders that need things. No accessible food. That's just because you're fully depleted. That's really bad, actually. Waiting staff, no feed. Are we actually at no feed, though? Looks like this delivery must have came in because I do have other stuff. Okay, let's get another order going there. I hired a few people, but I am feeling like I'm going to need even more. Let's do 2 more keepers, another laborer. Right now, the stocking of the enclosures feels like the real problem. I do have a warehouse and a rest center for the staff on the far side of the island as well. How far has anybody traveled down these paths? Oh, this is not connected up. Fair. Oh yeah, I remember because I was having problems getting the angles to look okay. Because they do this thing. Where they don't quite connect in the way I want them to. That one worked out fine. It was just the preview that was weird, but sometimes we have actual problems with those linking up. Okay. Well, the tour path, I think, is the loop is complete, I think. So nobody on this segment, which may mean nobody's reached that far, or it may mean they can't cross the bridge. One way or the other. We'll have to find out. I mean, there's not even anybody going all the way down here, to be fair. And these paths have been here for forever. It's like the maximum distance anybody's reaching is this guy in his friggin' khakis. Alright, well, that's fine. What I was going to do was get these guys. For real this time. 5 females. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Animal pregnancy on Ulva.
All over Western North America,
All right.
Edmontosaurus is the textbook definition of a hadrosaur. Hadrosaurs are commonly referred to as duck-billed dinosaurs. But don't let that catchy moniker fool you. These dinosaurs lived on land, not in water.
You say that. Looks like it's in water to me, Nigel. Briefly, at least. Okay, cool. Another batch of eggs. Meanwhile, all of this continues to be a problem. Okay, so these guys are Mongoliensis. Mongoliensis is coastal. So in theory, these guys can also just be chucked in the other enclosure. What if we put each species in a different enclosure for vibes? I could put them in here, the Mongoliensis. They should be fine. This is coastal, I think. Maybe I should make sure. Yeah, most of these are coastal. Okay. Let's do it. Let's put them in here. Okay, no dialogue is going to play there. Alright. Then we need the males. So we needed 3 males. Okay, then we have Sibricus, which is not done yet. Wait. Oh, I bet you that one was Mongoliensis as well. We'll just put all 5 of them on this. We'll just run down Sibricus super quick. Animal growth. Ulva is now an adult. Bunik is now an adult. Tuktu is now an adult. Not quite. That was a teenage pregnancy in our park. How dare us?
Although it doesn't have a magnificent bony crest like its more famous relatives, some Edmontosaurus sport their own flashy headgear in the form of a comb made entirely from soft tissue.
Let's do a check. What's going on here? Velociraptors. They're just always bad. Who cares? Actually, the Velociraptors have been pretty well behaved recently. Okay, cool. We got a stock of meat there and here. The Allosaurs are go. So let's get these allos out. We have, wait, which ones? Hold on. Did I accidentally release one? Wait. Barry, Dolores. There might be an Allosaurus somewhere in this park currently on accident. Either that or I never finished hatching or cloning the one. What the? Huh. Okay, there isn't. So what did I actually synthesize? Okay, close this. I can't tell. So this should be our Anax. I guess we just release these one at a time. So the Anax is supposed to be over here.
Of Allosaurus give them a rather sinister looking grin. A fun name might make this one seem less intimidating. Perhaps we should call him Big Al? Big Ali? Shoot! Was this individual a male?
Very funny.
It can be nearly impossible to sex reptiles by sight, dinosaurs included.
That also might be an intentional reference to Big Al having medullary bone and therefore being Big Alley. Okay, so this is our Anax. I like the red markings on the snout. All right, let's get the environment sorted out. So let's just start with the complete and utter destruction of every tree within a 10-mile radius, as if we were a lumber company. Okay, no trees. So we've got desert, we've got grassland, and we've got scrubland. I could go with some grassland maybe. They have no environmental need beyond. Wait, they just have like no environmental need. How does this work? Because they're like completely. All of these can go to 0. That's confusing. It's just completely, like, optional. We'll just continue it up this way for the vibes. That way it kind of matches the enclosure. All right, and yeah, we're just at the limit there of available forest space as it stands. I've completely lost the aloe. Name it Demetrius. Let's find him. There she is. Even though it's a she. Okay. You're good and happy and way too fast. Ooh, I like the lankiness of that run. The way the legs stretch out. It looks really satisfying. Okay, Few compatible items. So, meat. We'll give you a nice blood pumpkin. As well. We'll put that down over here. Okay, and then for our other aloes, so we have this one, and we have the male. Beth is our Rex. Well, might as well get you out here. Jim Matsna. Right into the water, classic. All right. You dislike tropical, you don't mind grassland. Okay. You've got way too much water. I was hoping it would work out because I like the river and I don't really want to delete it. I could ignore it. I could just say that you just gotta live with that. You're just gonna keep it. I don't know. I could also just increase the size of the exhibit on the land part and deal with it that way. Okay. Scrubland, coastal, or desert. Let's do some scrubland. Get a little outside the enclosure so the vibe kind of matches. Okay. Sure. So I think I'm just going to leave them like that on the river. Got Asha Greyjoy coming here. Never actually read the books. All right, there's our female. To go with our male. For 3 total allosaurs in the park, which feels like a good number for a medium-large carnivore, let's say. Hey, somebody on the bridge. Even if this is just a staff member, that means the bridge is traversable. That's cool. Ooh, they turned back. I wonder if this area doesn't work. Would they try to cross it and then fail? No, I think she's just going to work somewhere else. So maybe that's not anything to be concerned about yet. Okay, Rex enclosure. Dying animals probably another thing to check, huh? I mean, it's a velociraptor, so I'm just gonna choose to ignore them, maybe. Well, all right. It doesn't. There's no skin off my back to like help them along here. Skin off my teeth. That's the expression. It's also no skin off my back. All right, we'll send you also. You're in food corner. Wait, is that the one I just moved? Okay, no, the other one is there too. All right. Great. Oh yeah, and Monosaurus egg check. How we doing on Monosaurus eggs? That's a good looking clutch. What do we actually have? 6 eggs, hatching in 14 minutes. Damn. Ulva and Tuktu. All right. The Hadrosaur herd drinking together was very Jurassic Park. Better if they didn't clip into each other in that moment, but it's fine. All right, Rex enclosure. Are you stocked? Yes. Okay. So here is our little Rex cliff. Right by the fence for that, you know, to plug up that JP plot hole that people like to bring up all the time about how was there a cliff? Well, the cars were here, and then the Rex pushed the cars over here where there was a cliff. Plot hole resolved. That's probably about all the effort I'm going to go into for making that work. Looks like Sibricus is done too. All right, Beth. AKA Rexy. Okay, so you are content with your biome. You just need actual water. And more trees. So we could put a little water down here. Okay, that's yeah, because the intensity was maxed out. Don't do that. Okay, maybe I don't want, you know, that much. It's a little much. Just put a little bit down there so that it feels like the lower area has a purpose. Then we'll throw some water maybe out here in the middle a bit. That way if the Rex is wandering around, she can at least go get a drink. Still needs a lot more. Let's do... We can extend this water, which was, I think, river. Well, I can't cross the actual fence line, so let's do maybe just like our own secondary little river branch going somewhere. That looks awful, but we'll clean it up. Shrink it down. Get rid of those very elbowy looking elbows, maybe. It's like a separate drainage channel or whatever from the main river, right? Like when this river overflows and it goes into this. That's our headcanon. It doesn't help that much, but it's useful. The river is apparently elevated relative to the nearby terrain, which I hate. But we need more trees too, so this can be somewhat patched up with trees as well if the border of this segment of river ends up looking weird, which it is absolutely doing. All right, I've lost the Rex data, so the T-Rex needs what else? Wait, what's this enclosure? Wait, that's the Dilo enclosure. Did I... 0 of 6. What? Oh, because there's a filter. It did not remove that after it was initially... I was done looking at it. Okay, Rexy, there you are. Okay, we're halfway on water. That's crazy. She likes it wet. What can we say, I guess? Mix some different, I don't know, types of water in here. I don't know what else to do with the rest of this enclosure, really, so... Just keep putting in a series of different, like, little lakes and stuff, I guess. Maybe we put a little island in the middle. Sorta. You know what would be cool? Like a water brush that has some sort of, like, randomization to the perimeter. That way it's not always putting down a circle. It's like makes it feel more like a proper shoreline or something without it feeling really tedious to work with. That'd be kind of neat. You prefer Roberto over Rexy? Yeah, it's a better nickname. I agree. We're just doing Rexy because we're skewing more for the film than we are with the novel. Given that we're doing like the film paddocks roughly and stuff. So, okay. Well, that's enough water. Now we're going to deal with the trees. Temperate is acceptable, wetland is acceptable, and tropical. Let's do tropical. We haven't actually used tropical vegetation much in this park. I'm just going to thread it along the waterways primarily to begin with, and then fill in with some other stuff. Oh yeah, we also need to do a lot of trees in the canyon section. That way it appropriately feels like the movie where they look down and there's the trees, right? Well, they don't really look down. They like climb down and there's the trees, right? Nobody looks over the cliff until it appears suddenly. I guess we can kind of like really max out this exhibit in terms of tree density too. Because the Rex is a pretty high threshold for the tolerance. Don't get into the other paddock, though. If we do that, then they get upset. Definitely sharing paddock borders in this game is pretty dodgy, since it's really hard to control the precise placement of the vegetation up to the exact position of the fence. And the T-Rex was pretty hard to see initially, so this should be a pretty forested, even up by the front. Kind of just a gap, like right at the fence line where you can kind of see the Rex if you're lucky. Because Jurassic Park is unfortunately poorly designed as far as being a park goes. You can't see any of the damn animals. Will condors be in this park? Yeah. We brought back a flock of condors. You'd have nothing to say. When are we going to get condors in JWE 3? That would actually be kind of hilarious, just adding like the California condor or whatever is a aviary species on like April Fool's Day or something, and then just keeping it in the game. That would be actually pretty funny. That would be well played. It is pretty cool actually seeing the treetops here through the fence line like this. I actually really like this as a vibe. A palm tree like right there does a pretty good job too, but it's unfortunately clipped into the fence. I'm gonna have to kill you, Mr. Palm Tree. You can't be here. Sir? This one I can't even click on. There we go. That is a sheer cliff face. You're not allowed to be on that tree. That one's close enough to the edge, it's fine. Alright. With like the fog and stuff, it's kind of a sick view, like getting a glimpse down the hill. Very dangerous for the guests that close to 10,000 volt fences. Yeah. We need locking mechanisms on the vehicle doors, except there's no vehicles. Well, let's check on the Rex again. That's maybe enough trees to make the enclosure feel appropriate. There she is. Yeah, we're above the threshold. I think I'm not going to strain myself by putting in further trees. And in terms of like the overview of the broader enclosure, it's all just forest out here. It doesn't really matter. I'll operate under the assumption the other enclosures are good too. Okay. So, Cherry has mated and is now pregnant. Congratulations to Cherry the Gallimimus. Faye has died from a tooth abscess. Gallimimus. Well, shit. R.I.P. Faye. Win some, you lose some. Gallimimus, I guess. Ringworms recovering. Alright, you're fine. 19 remaining notifications. 3 dying animals, including the big one. Given that you're the only senior raptor, we should probably try and make sure you don't die. Once you get over by food. I'm not going to always be here to babysit you, but you're lucky that I'm checking right now. Get over there. Eat some crap. Alright, ratings check. So, visitor count is good, but 91% satisfaction, probably because there's a crippling lack of toilets. Animal welfare sufficient. Animal points is really low. And we need one more species. So we need some dudes to grow up. But other than that, we're probably not doing too bad. I'm a little concerned about you because I have seen you guys get a little close to dying. You're good. You're near Nedry. You can go get a Nedry size snack. And or drink. So Sibricus. Back to list. Sidiko, Sibricus. Big spiky fella. All right, 1 male and 6 females. So let's do that. 1, 2, 3, a 4, a 5, and a 6, and a male 7. All right. We could chuck those guys in with the trikes and the Ankies and see if they do good. Actually, let's check their stats. Sidiko, Sibricus. Sibiricus? Is it Siberia? I have no idea what the derivation of this name is. Sibiricus, I'm going to go with. Maybe not. What was I checking? Oh, yeah, environmental need. They are, in fact, coastal. I think they should be good to go then with the Yankees. This should be yet another coastal enclosure here. Somebody should be by the food. Well, I guess we can just do this. That is not coastal, is it? That is, wait. Is it actually tropical? I guess it is, huh? Is Maiasaura in the game? Nope. Maiasaura is not in this game. Are any of the Sidicos pro-tropical? No. I think we'll just chuck them in the... We could put them in the galley enclosure, maybe? Because the galley enclosure doesn't have any Sidicos. Yeah, this is coastal. That would work, I think. Although we got the bullies, of course, but maybe it'll be fine. So far, the bullies haven't actually killed anybody, I don't think. Speckles. Let's reach adolescence. Yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm going to put the Sibricus in here. Alright. So, that is the intended adult populations, basically, for everything, more or less. Beth? What are you doing, Beth? You need to eat. You need to eat, Beth. I will take care of this. You're lucky I'm here. There's Nedry. Eat some Nedry. You're gonna die to starvation. There you go. Dig in. There's plenty of Nedry to go around. Cookie has reached adolescence. That's another galley. Yeah, this is probably a clutch of galleys all reaching adolescence here. Taco. Taco the... Wait, who's Taco? You're Taco. Taco the Gallimimus. Not a Psittacosaurus. It is a Gallimimus. Alright, let's do a little check on logistics. It's kind of the last big thing to push. So, yeah, these numbers are still bad. Plants and meat and meals. Get an order in there. Employee check. So our boys and girls and staff they're all in the green. Nobody's too pissed. So that seems good to me. Let's get one of you, 2 keepers, 2 laborers. Call that good, maybe. Since I've done like rebuilding everything, any money I have is just essentially excess. Which means that I can just afford to spend it on staff, theoretically. Making sure these are all set to max training. Because we might as well. I don't see any reason to min-max it. Okay. But then we got to deal with this. Visitor satisfaction nutrition. Whee. The only place they got hamburgers is over here. Sufficient hamburgers, at least. What the hell was it called? I'm trying to remember what the Jurassic one we have is. Well, let's just click on one. Fast food kiosk. That's it. Fast food kiosk. So we got one right there, and it is insufficient. So let's put one slightly down the hill somewhere. Like maybe here. The problem is this is a slope, and the path is very close. So maybe I put it like here. Do a little flatten action. Okay, there's a limit to what I can do with where the path was. So I have to leave the green strip in there, I guess, which I'll admit bothers me a bit. That also made everything worse. Let's just take it up a notch. Will that function? Asking the real questions. It's looking pretty elevated to me. Oh, they can walk on it. I think we call that good then. Sure. Okay. It'll take a little while for that to get stocked, which is the other problem. We might need a lot more laborers, actually, because, like, if I'm putting in more buildings, I'm just exacerbating the labor issues you already have. Another fast food kiosk down here. So this is already in a hole. That's awkward. Let's put this down here further, maybe. Yikes. So we can assume the corner has to be at a minimum aligned with the path. So something like that. So park, like, the building placement's going to be a little rough. It's definitely learned some important lessons in this park build about how to build aesthetically. But the large scale of this park build and, like, the effort put into the paths and fences makes me very hesitant to make the necessary changes to fully, you know, realize this park to its full potential. There's raptors and you. Why are you dying? You are starving, but you're on your way to food. Maybe. Yes. Wow, you ate a lot of food very fast. Goddamn. Greedy little fella. Ate that entire plate. Okay. Calm down with the calm down with the dying already. Jesus, you're in the water. Why are you in the water? Why do you have too much water? Or no, you don't have enough water. Sorry. True. Get over out of the water with your rot foot, presumably. No ringworms. One staff en route. Okay. The water might have been lost at the river in the back when I was working on it, maybe. Oops, I put super deep water in. Okay, you know what? It's fine. Let's just not do anything with this further. It's really just not worth the effort to implement more water. Although, like, looking at the river like this looks sick. The trees right up there, the actual, like, movement in the water. I love the movement in the water. The water in JWE feels so static. Like, my ideal version of what I would imagine this to be would be the water dynamically, like, having a flow to it in the direction of the river. Because you can see, like, the way the waves are kind of set up here. They just kind of flow into the side. They're not really flowing downriver, per se. But, like, this is still fantastic looking. I'm just talking magical, you know, who cares how hard it is to program fairy tale land. Disease discovered here. Ringworms treatable. Disease discovered here. That's the other ringworms. Eggs hatched. I forgot. Cindy is now an adult. Parasaurs are adults. Elvis is now an adult. Presumably the eggs were the Admonosaurus eggs, maybe? No? Yes. Luna. Okay, wait. Are you're babies? Okay, let's start with Ulva. So Ulva is to Arcana. You know, it's easier just to do this. What am I doing? Why am I looking at them manually when I can just go here? So the surviving Edmontosauruses. So we had the original 4 Nectens, and we've gotten 1, 2, 3, the full 6. All 6 survived birth. That's great. So we've got 10 Paras, 10 Edmontos now. Cool. 32 issues. Holy smokes. Firecracker is dying. Maybe you should not be in the water. Maybe you should be up here. Immediately just sits down to fucking die. Alright, man. Have you considered doing anything to survive, possibly? You're not so big you need a different feeder, are you? Because I've actually never put in a tall feeder in the exhibit at all. I could put the tall feeder. I guess we'll just, like, put them in with the tree lines. Let's put a couple of them in, maybe. At this point. Even if it's completely premature, we might as well just get it in there. Yeah, see, you're going to eat, so I don't think it is a issue with them needing the tall feeder explicitly, currently. Alright, it's just an issue with, yeah, not eating. That's probably Chew, yeah. Firecracker. You gonna get up and do anything? No? Alright. Guessed well for issue nutrition 58%, but okay, this is showing blue, so I think that one is stocked and this one maybe isn't. I do see staff. Can we... No stock, no stock, no stock, no stock. Okay, well, good. stock issues. That's expected. Plants are really needed. Meals are really needed. Here's meals. Fruit, I guess. Wait. Sure. Okay. Well, I think we just gotta let it run for a bit. Oh man, we've been going super long. I lost track of time completely. The recording is almost an hour and 10 minutes at this point. I'm completely over. Holy cow. Ear infection recovering. That's the ringworms. Hey Rugaps, welcome to the stream. I'm just... Okay, let's look at our profit margin. Down a little bit, but not much. I'm gonna go crazy with stat. Is the park almost over? Yep, we're just kind of working on 5 stars. Brenda is mad. What's your problem, Brenda? The break room always seems far away. I'm trying to get my work done, but everything is far away. Brenda looks like she's fucking so depressed. What's my next plan when we're done 5-star on this park? We're going to probably go back to JWE 3 for a park build. We might start flipping back and forth between the two. I'm not entirely settled on that yet. We'll start out with some park tours. And some JW3 park tours that people want us to do, and then we'll do another park build. I have the next one planned. Something that can use Minmi, Torosaurus, and Aqualops, actually. We do have Allosaurus and Tyrannosaurus Rugops. We can take a look at them in a second. I want to get some buildings in first. I want to get some storehouses. Storage goods. Produce is what we're looking for. Storage produce small. So we're going to put a storage... Actually, putting one here probably doesn't really help us. Because I have one... I guess it's all the way over there, huh? So like one here where the aloes are is maybe actually not that bad. One of which is yours? Yeah. We'll do yours first, Muto. That's the border of the Ceratopsian exhibit moving into the Rex exhibit. So let's do this over here. Which I guess I already have one there, so maybe it's fine. We should have one in the south too. I could sneak in one in here, maybe. Let's do this. Did some small updates on JP Japan. Nice. This river is not my park. This river is my park. Okay, then some staff break rooms. One here. Maybe I put one over here. Well, I mean, there's one right there. It's probably fine. One there. Oops. How did I end up with only a piece? Okay. That way that section doesn't look so bare. Let's get some veg down there. Okay, Allosauruses and Rexes. So yeah, we have 3 Allosauruses. We have 1 Anax and 2 Gymnadsini. So there's our little Anax. A pain in the Anax. Still very young, of course. And our Gymnadsini's, Hokey. And I'm going to rechristen this Pokey. Because Hokey and Pokey is too good. Naturally, one has to be swimming at all times. I was just really interested in this bridge is all. And then Rexy herself, a maximum size Rex over here. Oh yeah, I should get some other things in here because we don't have any enrichment items in the Rex pen. Oh, wait a second. That is the 4 corners. I don't necessarily want that there. Put it over here. Imagine a fallen kingdom when Claire and Franklin on the gyrosphere during the stampeding, and they see this little guy instead of the aloe. Yeah, just this freshly hatched little aloe running for its life. Help! I think we did, yeah, blood pumpkin there. I don't think we did a item for the south ones. Let's put a little one of these here, right on the corner. Disease discovered. Oh, shocking. Silicosis? How? What? How do you have silicosis? Truly. Can you not die, please? Why are you going this way? You're hungry. I'm gonna make you go back up the hill where the food will eventually be, theoretically. Um, can I get staff here now, please? This is a problem. Not accessible to staff. Really? There's a door right there. Is it blocked by this tree? Yeah, see, this enclosure is just empty. There's just nobody's around to deliver food. Problems. Incoming, still. Okay. We need more plants, we need more meals. Fruit is okay. How about a merch? And medicine. Quarantine required. Okay, wait. You are... Okay, this enclosure right here. Who the fuck is Cherry? Can I search by name? Maybe if I spelt it correct. Cherry the Gallimimus. Ah, so we had a fresh clutch of galleys. Mated can create offspring. Current activity watching over family. She got another batch ready to go? Dying animal. Imagine my shock. Okay, buddy. I'm really gonna need food in this exhibit. Well, we're gonna have a problem. The rate we're going, this exhibit is consistently a problem. Adolescent styracosaurs. What are you doing? All right, we need to wrap this episode up. Probably the stream, because I'm not at 100%. So I want to get this guy treated first, though. I don't want to end with this guy just in quarantine. And he's not even in quarantine at all yet. All right, we're just going crazy on staff. Okay, Sophia's recovering. Treatable stomach ulcer, 1 staff and root. Great. Silicosis treatment done. Truly still dying. Just gonna keep moving it up the hill where there might someday be food. Oh, parasitic dermatitis. Oh my god. Give me a fucking break, dude. The constant quarantine stuff, well, constant is maybe a little strong. A little annoying sometimes. I seem to be stuck in a black hole. Okay, we're moving. Food! Oh my god, food! What's your problem? Welfare bad. Starving to death. Well, do I have news for you, little guy? Look at this. It's a whole plate. You're going right in it. Enjoy. Oh, not good enough for you, huh? You're going to that one? Fine. At least when they need to eat, when they're like imminently dying, they recognize pretty quickly that there's food nearby. Not like JWE where they do weird shit and decide to walk across the map before even trying to eat. So that's nice. Let's do a little status check. Well, first, let's look at these 17 issues. Combat encounter between shocking velociraptors. Sophia, still recovering. Okay. Sophia is very close to dead. Shockingly close to dead. We got a few at like half here. Doesn't seem too concerning. That's the dermatitis. Velociraptors be velociraptoring. How many do we have left? Still 20 raptors. That's pretty good. What's your problem, Rexy? You have no food. Well, that's because your pen is way too big. And you should be here where the food is. Oh, I like there's just an egg in that pile. It's pretty funny. Makes sense though. I gotta get some calcium. Dead animal. Shit, who died? Sophia died. I'll be damned. Oh, this is kind of some bullshit here. Sophia died mid-treatment for silicosis, which is kind of rude. She was literally half recovered. We did it about as quickly as we could. I guess since we didn't have it researched ahead of time, there's no way to save her, essentially. It's not obvious that you can, there's no obvious way to, like, force heal an animal up. So once it's already kind of dying, that's just, like, it. Which is unfortunate. I keep hiring more staff, hoping that welfare needs will get caught up on, but they don't. So we're going to have to continue in one more episode next time. Maybe it'll be a really short one as we get these animals grown up and get some final stuff into the park. But this episode's been way too long, so we gotta end it. So until next time. Maybe I'll even cut that episode in half or something, because it's way too long. Yeah, actually, let's do that. Let's do a little fake ending that I'll cut into the middle. All right, this episode ended up going way too long. I had to cut it in half in post. So next episode, we'll pick up immediately where we left off. Welcome back to our Prehistoric Kingdom park build, picking up right where we left off at the end of last episode with this little postscript edited in here. Prescript edited in here. This is awful. I'm going to cut all of that. Or maybe I'll keep that in there. Who knows? Okay. Oh shit, we had 2 deaths. Food aggression resulted in the death of a raptor. Did they kill each other because food was running out? Or did they just kill each other over food? Either way, that's actually pretty sick. Like a food aggression, like behavioral thing, killing each other over food specifically. All right, we need a thumbnail. We could do the aloe with the bridge in the background. It's not the worst. Fluffy little guy. You can see what the Anax is doing, but I think the bridge is one of the more interesting pieces of the newer section of the park. Could try catching the Rex by the cliff, but the Rex is not new. Yeah, let's leave it there, maybe. Alright, we're going to wrap stream up. Probably we'll try to finish this park build on Monday in a bonus session. I just don't have any more in the tank tonight. And then next Saturday will be JW3, and then we'll do Minecraft sometime during the week. If you are watching the stream, or if you've made it all the way through the VOD, and you are on the Discord server, we have a Minecraft server that will be starting up soon. It'll be starting up this upcoming week. We're going to soft launch with just people on the Discord server who have been on there previous to this announcement. And we'll expand out to more of the channel. Anybody who is an established viewer and is not on the Discord can also reach out to me if you want in. And we can make some early exceptions before we fully broaden the net, I guess. Ugh. I already save here? Yeah. Save again. Classic double save. Paranoia. Alright, but yeah, Minecraft, Dino Minecraft will start up sometime during the week. I'm thinking probably Wednesday for that. So we'll probably do Monday, finish PK. Wednesday we'll do some Minecraft. Saturday we'll do JWE3. So yeah. It's the tentative schedule for the upcoming week. All right, I'll catch everybody later. Thanks for watching.